to the University of Puerto Rico. I was born and raised in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And currently, after I finished my PhD, I moved to Cleveland, Ohio to work at NASA Glenn Research Center, where Louis Stokes is from. So I'm pretty proud of being working there. I will try to get also kind of personal in my story, just because I think, sorry, I think it's good to see that even though we have difficulties in our life, we don't give up and we can keep going. So, like I said, I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, and I came from I want to say, a well-off family. But when I was in college, things started to look different in my household. My dad was a civil engineer, but he stopped going to work. Things were going out of control in my household. And my sister and I did not understand why until we realized that both my parents were drug users. We lost our house. My sister and I had to move with our uncles and aunts. And if I cry, I'm sorry. And so it was a difficult time for us because I finished my bachelor's degree in chemistry, and I went to medical school. And while I was in medical school, all of this was going on. And even though I did not like medical school as much as I thought I would like it, I think the personal difficulties influenced me dropping out of medical school. But still, that did not mean I wanted to give up. So when I decided I did not want to go to medical school, I actually went to the University of Puerto Rico in Rio Piedras and visited the physics department and said, hey, I'm interested in astronomy and physics. What can I do? And the head of the department at the time actually became my thesis advisor. And he said, well, you would need a master's in physics if you're interested. And since you don't have a physics degree, you would need to do all the undergraduate courses in physics. And so that's what I did. And I spent 2 years finishing basically a bachelor's in physics. And then while I was doing that, I realized I was interested more in material science and solid-state physics. That's why I like telling this story, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but at the end, I finally came through. And so I actually ended up working with which was the head of the department at the time, on working with material science. And when I started my graduate school studies, the Bridge to the Doctorate Fellowship program was starting. And I'm a Cohort 1 Bridge to the Doctorate Fellow from the University of Puerto Rico, which started in 2003. And to say that I'm grateful is an understatement, just because with the situation that I had in my household, I was able to afford college, to support myself, and also I met my husband over there, so that was a blessing. Yeah. And so the Bridge to the Doctorate program was for 2 years. We were 10 students instead of 12. And I gotta say that our coordinator, and really, I was talking with him yesterday, that we did so many activities outside of our research and studies that I told him I learned so many things that I never would have learned if I was in this Bridge to the Doctorate Fellowship program. So, like I said, I'm really grateful. It helped me push my graduate school studies so that I could finish. I finished in 5 years my PhD. And after that, I went and did a postdoc at the University of Puerto Rico and ended up in 2009 working at NASA Glenn Research Center. Yeah. And so, my mother was saying, I entered with the sensors, doing research in sensors, but a little over almost 2 years ago, I'm now a project manager for the nanotechnology project for all of NASA. And as part of that, I'm also the representative for NASA for the National Nanotechnology Initiative. which is under the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. So I actually visit NSF every month. And it's been such a rewarding experience because we have to write policy for nanotechnology. We have to write a supplement for the president's budget. So we're very much involved in, I like to think we're very much involved in changing things for nanotechnology and science. And I would like to say also, I mean, it's one of the perks. I've met Dr. Holdren, the president's science advisor, which was really nice. And so I guess in a nutshell, I just want to say, even though I had all these troubles and tribulations in my life, I managed to, I had the bridge to the doctorate, finished my PhD early, ended up working at Azlin, and now I think I hold a position that I can influence science in the United States. So, thank you.